Welcome to Old Man Sports Talk. I'm your host, Old Man Nate, and today it's the OU Kansas pregame show right here live from Twin Peaks at 6500 Southwest 3rd Street. If you're in Oklahoma City, stop by where they got great food, great drinks, and great scenic food. Scenic views. I'm sorry. Yeah. So sorry I'm a little late. About a half hour late. I had to run home. I forgot something that was very important. The podcast would not have worked without it. My mic wouldn't have worked. My speakers wouldn't have worked. So it was a very important piece of equipment that I had forgot. Again, come on out to Twin Peaks. If you're in Oklahoma City, it's right off I-40 in between Rockwell and MacArthur. They got great food. Come get you some lunch. They got tacos. They got burgers. They got chicken fried steak. That's what I had last week. It was pretty good. They got all kinds of food out here. Got the coldest beer in Oklahoma City. So come on down. I got the coldest beer on tap, I should say, in Oklahoma City. So come on out. Enjoy. The OU game is going to start in about a half hour. They take on the Kansas Jayhawks up in Lawrence. So since we're running late, I gotta compress this show a little bit. I usually give my predictions for the other games. We'll go ahead and run over that real quick, then we'll finish. Then we'll talk about the OU Kansas game. So there's not a whole lot of great games today. I'll put it that way. There is some good games. Well, the 2:30 slots are going to be really, really good. There's some really good games in 2:30. With 11 o'clock and the evening games are okay. So Tennessee and Kentucky play tonight. That's a pretty good game. I got Tennessee winning that one. By the way, I'm going to name rankings in this, and they're my rankings. They're not the AP or the coaches' rankings. Okay. So, number two, I got Tennessee ranked 25th. I got them playing Kentucky, and I got Tennessee coming away with the win tonight. Number 2, Ohio State at Wisconsin. I got Ohio State winning that one. Okay. Number 3, Florida State play at Wake Forest. I got them winning. Florida State winning. Number 4, Georgia, and number 21, Florida. I got the Gators upsetting the Dogs today. Okay. And the reason for that basically is Brock Bowers out the game. And he's the only reliable, consistent player for the Georgia Bulldogs. So not saying somebody else can't step up, but I think sorry, I had a pop up. But I think that I just think Florida's going to be too much for them today. By far the best team the Georgia Bulldogs have faced this year. And they've got a couple of hard stretch here. Their toughest stretch of the season without Brock Bowers. It's going to be tough for them to make it through unscathed. If they do make it through unscathed, then they have definitely cemented their place in the college football playoff, even if they lose the SEC championship. All right. The only way they wouldn't is if there's undefeated teams. If there's 4 undefeated teams, then they won't make it. But anyways, number 5, Washington at Stanford. Washington win that one. Number 6, Oklahoma. And I got the Kansas Jayhawks ranked. I got them ranked number 19. So I think this will be a really good game. We're going to go over that in just a second. Number 7, Texas against BYU at 2:30. Hey, I got BYU winning. All right. Texas without Ewers. Not saying Texas can't run the ball. Because, matter of fact, BYU is not a very good team. They're ranked 122nd in total offense and 93rd in total defense. So Texas still could win this game. I don't know how good they're going to be with Malik Murphy. So I'm picking BYU to win, But if Malik Murphy is as good as they say he is, then Texas will win this game. Number 8, Penn State against Indiana. Penn State should win this one pretty easily. Number 9, Oregon at number 13, Utah. Another 2:30 game. I've got Utah winning this game. I think Utah's for real. Their offense has been a lot better since they played that. I believe he's a walk-on quarterback. So, or he's either a freshman on scholarship or he's a walk-on. Maybe both. Maybe a walk-on freshman. I don't remember. So, number 11, Ole Miss against Vanderbilt. I've got Ole Miss winning that one. Number 12, Oregon State at Arizona. It's late tonight, 9:30. I think that's going to be a lot closer again than people think. I got Oregon State winning that one. Number 14, North Carolina at Georgia Tech. I think North Carolina bounces back after that collapse against Virginia last week. Or 15, Notre Dame versus Pittsburgh. Remember, it was somebody earlier this year went into Pittsburgh and got beat. I think it might have been Louisville. After Louisville beat Notre Dame, they go into Pittsburgh and got beat. Well, now Notre Dame's got to go into Pittsburgh. I think Notre Dame gets it done though. Number 16, Air Force at Colorado State tonight. I think Colorado State upsets that. Air Force is without their quarterback who got hurt last week. I think Colorado State gets it done. Number 17, Louisville against number 22, Duke. Another 2:30 game. I've got Duke coming away with this one. Now, again, it depends which quarterback plays, okay? If their main quarterback who's been got hurt against Notre Dame, came back and then got hurt again last week, and it looked to me like he could have went when I was watching him do exercise on the sideline, but they didn't put him back in, and Duke ended up. They were ahead. They were beating Florida State when he got hurt, and they ended up losing that game. So that's a key position for Louisville. If he plays, the starting quarterback plays, I think Duke wins, but without him, I think they lose. Number 20, Miami against Virginia. Miami now or not going into it. It's a home game, but getting that Virginia team who just beat North Carolina. I think that Miami probably awake now. I think Miami gets it done today. And then number 24, Kansas State against Houston. I think Kansas State is going to be too much for Houston today, and Kansas State will win that one. My top 25 is I didn't release a show today. However, or this week I didn't release a show on top 25. However, starting this Monday, every Monday, I'm going to do my predictions on, which is really my 25 anyway, my top 25 on the what the college football rankings will be. Okay, because this Tuesday is the first release of the college football playoff rankings. So this Monday I'll do my projections of what I think they will be. We'll see how close they are when they come out, and then every Monday will be the rankings. Now the last week, remember the last rankings is actually on a Sunday around 11 or 12 when it'll be released. I'll figure out something on that one. I don't know if I'll do it Saturday night or if I'll do it early Sunday morning. So I'm gonna still try and do my projections, and then I'll come on afterwards and talk about what I think of. If the committee got it right, or if I think they got it wrong. All right. But anyway, so 25, I got Tennessee. 24, Kansas State. 23, LSU, who's off this week. 22, Duke. 21, Florida. 20, Miami. 19, Kansas. 18, Missouri, who's also off this week. 17, Louisville. 16, Air Force. 15, Notre Dame. 14, North Carolina. 13, Utah. 12, Oregon State. 11, Ole Miss. 10, Alabama, who's off this week. 9, Oregon. 8, Penn State. 7, Texas. 6, Oklahoma. 5, Washington. 4, Georgia. 3, Florida State, 2, Ohio State, and number 1, Michigan, who's also off this week. All right, so let's get into the OU. Well, before that, if you haven't already, please take the time to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. That way you get notified every time Oh Man Nate drops a video or goes live. Also, at the at the end of this show, go on over to ohmancoffee.shop and get you some coffee, where we have 47 different flavors of coffee to choose from in grinds and in K-Cup. Also, you can get you a tumbler. Let me grab the tumbler real quick. You can get you a tumbler. All right. We have 2 different sizes and about 3 or 4 different colors you can choose from. And then also you can get you a t-shirt. Get you a t-shirt at oldmancoffee.shop. Right now we got a special. If you get you 2 tumblers or 2 t-shirts or a t-shirt and a tumbler, you'll get you a bag of coffee for free. All right. So going over to oldmancoffee.shop and support Old Man Nate. Now, let's take a look at the OU Texas game. And I remember I got Oklahoma ranked number 6. I got Kansas ranked number 19. I know they're not ranked in the coaches and poll or whatever, but I promise you, if they win this game today, they will be. I promise you. So, anyway, let's take a look at it. Passing offense. Oklahoma is number 7 in the country at 328 yards a game. Kansas is 63rd in the country at 231 yards a game. Passing yards allowed, Oklahoma is 89th at 240 yards a game, and Kansas is 76 at 235 yards a game. So both passing defenses are in the bottom half of the college football, and Oklahoma's passing offense is in the top, very top of college football. Kansas is not. It's about halfway, about the middle of it. So wouldn't be surprised if OU throws the ball a lot today. Now, here's another thing, though, real quick before we get into all that. It's going to be a really cold day in Lawrence, Kansas. Temperature at kickoff is going to be around 32 degrees. It's going to increase throughout the game, but it's not like it's going to increase a lot. It's probably going to get no higher than about 38 or 40 degrees. The wind and the rain has held off. It should not be as wet as what we thought it was going to be. The wind is not outrageous. It's not 20 or 30 mile an hour. So it's still be able to throw the ball. However, it's going to be cold. It means the ball is going to be harder. Receivers' hands are going to be colder. The ball's not going to be slippery, but it's going to be hard like a brick. So catching the ball is not going to be as easy as on a hot day. All right. So keep that in mind. Rushing offense. Oklahoma is 51st in the country at 168 yards a game, but Kansas is 12th in the country at 212 yards a game. Rushing defense, OU is 33rd, only giving up 118 yards a game, while Kansas is 94th, giving up 161 yards a game. Now, I want to point something out real quick. So the Sooners offensively rushing the ball have not, like when you watch the game, you're like, man, we can't run the ball. We don't break no long runs. I think the touchdown last week against UCF that Shawshank got was the longest run we've had this season by a running back. And it was like 30, 33 yards, something like that. So that's not, Kansas has had probably 10 plus runs like that. So, but here's the thing. Oklahoma has outrushed their opponent in every game but one this season. And they're 7-0. All right. So despite the fact that it doesn't appear the Sooners are running the ball really well, our rushing defense has been so well that we've still been able to outrun every opponent. And that one opponent we didn't outrun was Cincinnati, and we still won 20-6, kept them out of the end zone. So, I mean, we don't want to be outrun by 100 yards or something, but we have been effective. We have been winning the rushing battles, and so it's not as bad as what it appears to be. Okay. Here's another thing, though. Both teams have allowed 100-yard. Both Oklahoma and Kansas have allowed 100-yard rusher the last two games. In fact, Kansas has allowed a 100-yard rusher the last three games. Okay, so that's that, and you know we've only had one 100-yard rusher this season, and that was Walker, and I believe that was against Cincinnati. No, might have, no, it might have been Arkansas State. I didn't look that up. I meant to look that up, but I didn't look it up. But yeah, we only had one 100-yard rusher this season in a game. So look for and here's the thing with Sooners, you don't know who's going to be the main guy. All right, it could be Walker didn't play last week because of the suspension. Could be him again. He could be the main guy this week. Sawchain got some time last week, looked pretty good at times. I don't know if he'll start this week. Marcus Mader's been consistent all year. It just hasn't been great, but he has been consistent. He's been pretty good. You just don't know who. I think it's going to be one of those three. I heard Barnes is redshirting this year. That's why he didn't play last week or the last couple weeks. So I would not be surprised if it's just those three, and they all three play. And who knows? Who knows what will get the job done? Now, our Oklahoma's red zone defense is 14th in the country. They've only allowed 14 times the opponent to make it inside the red zone. They've given up 5 touchdowns and 5 field goals, so 10 out of 14 times the opponent has scored in the red zone on them, and that's 71%. That doesn't sound too good, right? Well, let's take a look at Kansas. Kansas is 129th in red zone defense. They've allowed the opponent to reach the red zone 27 times. They've given up 18 touchdowns and 9 field goals. So all 27 times their opponent made it in the red zone, they scored. That's 100%. All right. So 71% doesn't sound too good, but again, that's 14th in the country. So that still is pretty good. And their opponent, Kansas, every time. Now, here's the thing, though. The Sooners' field goal unit has not been great this year. In fact, it's been kind of poor. He missed 2 last week. I believe he missed 1 against Texas. Either Texas or Iowa State. He missed 1 against. So, yeah. We got to be better. The game's got to be better. Now, our red zone offense, the Sooners are 52nd in the country. They've reached the red zone 37 times, scored 24 touchdowns, and 8 field goals. So that's 32 out of 37 times they've scored, and 86.5. That's 86.5%. That's still pretty. That's pretty good. Again, I know we missed at least 3 field goals. So that's 35 out of 37. I think we went for it on 4th down once and didn't make it. Maybe even a turnover. I think we made even a turnover. So that's still pretty good. Kansas is 33rd, so actually better than the Sooners. They're 33rd in the country. They've made it 28 times in the red zone. They've scored 20 touchdowns, 5 field goals, so 25 out of 28 times. That's 89%. So just not much better than the Sooners, but they are a little bit better. So when you compare, though, the Jayhawks offense against the Sooners defense, I think the Sooners defense is going to be a little bit better. And then the other way around, it looks like the Sooners offense will be way better. So, anyways, the Sooners have got to make sure that their defense in the red zone stands up like it did against Texas, and really even like it did against UCF. Remember, they had a fourth down stop, and then we had a taunting penalty on Cannick, which gave them a first down. We stopped them on third down. I think UCF would have went for it on fourth down, and who knows if they had made it or not. But they did make it on the very next play, so they may have made it anyway. So total offense, the Sooners are 7th in the country at 496.9, so really 497 yards a game. Kansas is number 29th in the country at 443 yards per game. Total defense, the Sooners are 53rd in the country at 359 yards a game. And the Jayhawks are 92nd at giving up 396 yards a game. So, again, the Sooners defense appears to be a lot better than the Jayhawks, and the Sooners offense appears to be better than the Jayhawks. So, just by looking at stats, you would think that the Sooners will win this game easy. One thing I want to point out is it looks like the Sooners are going to be without Jalen Daniels. And last year, the Sooners played against the Jayhawks backup Bean, and Bean was 16 for 27, 265 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So he had pretty good numbers. He also ran the ball 10 times for 41 yards. Gabriel last year was 29 of 42 for 403 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also ran the ball 10 times for 37 yards. So I think the quarterbacks are going to be the key. We cannot allow the Jayhawks to have numbers like we can't allow Bean to have numbers like he did last year. Just cannot do that. I think that the Sooners are going to have a spy on Bean this year. By the way, the Sooners won by 10, but if you go back and look at the game, after halftime they controlled the game. Really, kind of even after the first quarter, it was 14 all after one, and then the Sooners was up by 10, I believe, at halftime. Dominated the third quarter, and then allowed Kansas to make a run to make it seem what presentable. But they was down, I believe, 28 going into the fourth quarter. So, anyway, the Sooners really have got to just do the same thing they did last year, but I would like to see them control Bean a lot more. I mean, 41 yards rushing ain't too bad on 10 attempts, but that's still 4.1 yards a carry. So I just and sacks take away yards. I don't know how many times he was sacked. I didn't look into that, but so I want to see a spy put on Bean, and I want to see pressure when he's passing. Our defensive line's been pretty good. Keep the pocket contained. That was the only thing that hurt when UCF made the run last week. That was the only thing that hurt the Sooners. Was they at first it was keeping him contained. Then they started allowing pockets to form, and he was allowed to escape. And that's when he caused problems. So cannot do that today. So let's take a look at who the Sooners have played this year. They played Arkansas State, won 73-0. Arkansas State is 87th in the country in total offense, 124th in the country in total defense. SMU, the Sooners won 28-11. The SMU is ranked 34th in the country in total offense, 13th in the country in total defense. Hey, if you're online, please say hi. Let me know you're on. Say something. Tulsa, then they beat Tulsa 66-17. Tulsa is 76th in the country in total offense, 107th in the country in total defense. Cincinnati, since they beat Cincinnati 20-6, Cincinnati is 25th in the country in total offense, 45th in the country in total defense. Then they beat Iowa State 50-20. Iowa State is 104th in the country in total offense, 28th in the country in total defense. Then they beat Texas 34-30. Texas is 15th in the country in total offense, 37th in the country in total defense. And then last week they beat UCF 31-29. UCF is number 6 in the country in total offense, number 86 in the country in total defense. So looking at what the Sooners have done, so far they've beaten 3 teams that are ranked in the top 50 in both total offense and total defense. And then another team ranked in the top 50 in total defense, and another team ranked in top 50 in total offense. So they played, out of 7 opponents, they played 5 out of 7 have at least been ranked in total offense or total defense in top 50. And by the way, these rankings I'm talking about are current as of the other night. So not necessarily when they played the Sooners, but they were most likely at least that. I can go back and look, like, because I do this every week. But yeah, these are current rankings. So again, if you're online watching, please say hi. Let me know you're online. So let's take a look at who Kansas opponents are or have played this year. They beat Missouri State 48-17. Missouri State's an FCS school, so I did not get their rankings. Then they beat Illinois 34-23. Illinois is ranked 82nd in total offense, 91st in total defense. They beat Nevada 31-24. Nevada is 117th in total offense, 127th in total defense. Then they beat BYU 38-27. BYU is 122nd in total offense, 93rd in total defense. Then they lost to Texas 40-14. Texas, again, is ranked 15th in total offense, number 37 in total defense. Then they beat UCF 51-22, a team that the Sooners struggled against. They beat pretty easily. And again, UCF's number 6 in total offense, number 86 in total defense. And then they lost to Oklahoma State 39-32. Oklahoma State, by the way, the Sooners play them next week. So be ready for that one. And let's hope the Sooners are not overlooking Kansas and preparing for Oklahoma State. They need to prepare for Kansas, be prepared for Kansas. But Oklahoma State is 58th in total offense, 101st in total defense. So if you look at who the Jayhawks have played, they've only played one team that's ranked in the top 50 in both offense and defense, and that's the Texas Longhorns, which the Sooners beat also, or not also because Kansas lost to Texas. And then they played UCF, who was ranked number 6 in the country in total offense. So they have not had a schedule at all that the Sooners have played. In fact, they've actually played, like Nevada's ranked in top 100 in both offense and defense. BYU's ranked in top 100 and 93 in total offense and defense. And then even Oklahoma State, who's ranked 101st in total defense. So they played some pretty poor teams, but they are 5-2. Okay, they haven't had the competition the Sooners have went through, but that doesn't mean the Sooners can relax on them. You know, I feel like they did that too much offensively wise last week against UCF. The Sooners defensively came out on fire. They forced the first 4 possessions were 3 and out, but the Sooners only got 7 points out of that, and was up 7-0 after the first quarter. Should have been up at least 10-0. They missed a field goal, by the way. But here's the thing: if you're up 28-0, like we have seen Sooners offense in the past, that's a whole different ball game, and it's not even close. The game will not even come close. But give credit to Gus Malzahn and his finding ways to break down the Sooner defense and make it a game, including having the lead. And the Sooners had to score 14 unanswered points to go up by a touchdown. And they did allow a late touchdown. Actually, it was up by 8, so they allowed a late touchdown and then was able to stop the 2-point conversion try and then get the onside kick to seal the win. But we Sooner fans, we don't want to close. We don't want a game that close. Not this week. We don't. We want to go into Lawrence, blow the doors off the Jayhawks, um, and move on to Oklahoma State. So keys to all right. We only got about 4 minutes here. The keys to the game. First, the keys to the game is going to be OU's defense against Kansas offense. If we can contain Bill, like I said, if we can have a spy on him, and then when it's in passing situations, force him in third and long, passing situations, and blitz him and put him on the ground a lot or put pressure on him, throw bad passes, I think the Sooners will win the battle in that situation. However, if we give him time to find open receivers, if we don't have a spy on him, it's going to be a long day for the Sooner defense. He's not just an elusive quarterback. He's a very fast quarterback. So he's got long legs. I don't know what he runs a 40 in, but it seems like he runs about a 4.4 40. He is that fast. So Sooners have got to do what I just said. They've got to contain Bill, keep a spy on him, put pressure on him in passing situations. We got to win the rushing battle. Like I mentioned earlier, actually the Sooners have won the rushing battle in every game but one this season. And I know probably nobody knew that because it looks like we have trouble running the ball. But we are averaging 168 yards on the ground. Now, we would like to see it closer to 200-yard range like Kansas is doing. But we have been winning our rushing battles all but one, and we still won that game pretty easily, and that was against Cincinnati where we won 20-6. Didn't even allow a rushing touchdown period, but we rushing or throwing. The Sooners, by the way, have only given up one rushing touchdown this season, and that rushing touchdown came last week against UCF. No, two. That's right. Texas ran for a touchdown, and then last week. So they have allowed one rushing touchdown in the last two games. But yeah, so they've been really good. I know what it was. I was rushing touchdown in the red zone. So last week was the first rushing touchdown in the red zone. Because Texas rushing touchdown came like 30 yards out, 35 yards out, something like that. And third, we've got to continue our bend, not break defense, okay? We are giving up a lot of yards, okay? We're giving up over 500. Well, no, we're giving up about 300 and where's our total defense at? 359 yards a game. All right, which is pretty good. Or I mean, it's not really good. It is ranked 53rd in the country, which seems okay. It's about the halfway point. But I'd like to be in the top 40, top 30, that sort of thing. However, our red zone defense is ranked 14th in the country. So again, we're bending, we're giving up yards, but when it gets down to crunch time, we're doing what we need to do, including a fourth down stop on a four downs in a row from the 1 yard line against Texas. UCF, we had them stop 3 downs in a row from the 1 yard line, and then we had a taunting penalty, which gave them an automatic first down. They would have, I think UCF would have went for it on 4th and 1 anyways, and they did score on the very next play. So who knows? They may have called the exact play that they scored on anyways, and it would have scored anyway. But we don't know that. But they still have been very, very successful right there on the goal line in the red zone. So Sooners have got to continue that. I think really last week was kind of a wake-up call. And I'm blaming – I think the players came out ready to play. I'm blaming last week's struggle on the coaching staff, particularly Jeff Levy. I thought his play calling early in the game was not very good, especially the first series. You start Shawshank, and in the very second play of the game, you run a wildcat, something we didn't even really run at all this season. He hasn't even played a lot this season for whatever reason. So I thought them having him do a wildcat, I think it might have been his first start, by the way. It was either his first or his second. But I believe it was his first start this season. And so he's nervous. He's excited. Get him the ball by regularly getting the ball. Hand the ball off to him. Okay? Don't do no gimmick stuff early in the game. You're Oklahoma. You're playing UCF. You should not have to play. You should not have to do gimmicks to win the ball game. Just play football, and you'll win the game. And so, thought that was. I thought it was. That's on Jeff Levy. Then the next game, you throw a screen pass to it, Sawshank, which was not a bad call, but he's nervous. He just dropped the dang Wildcat fumble, got it back. He's still nervous. Look for your regular receiver down the field, right? Look for Stoops. Look for Anderson. Look for Farouk. You know, those guys. Just anyway, I thought I understand you trying to get him involved, but I thought that was a little too much. So, anyways, I think the Sooners just got to come in, play football. Don't be trying to do gimmicky. Don't be trying to be catch people off guard. Just play football. If the Sooners do that, I think we win this game pretty easily. And I'm picking the Sooners 45-16 today over the Kansas Jayhawks. I think our defense steps up. Defense came out hot last week. If our offense does what it's supposed to do, is a 28-0 ball game. UCF's blown out the water. They don't have a chance. So it's a whole different ball game. I think that's going to happen today. I think our defense is going to come out fired up. I think our offense is going to execute like it's supposed to. It's going to be a cold day, or we'll be able to run the ball. We're going to be able to, do some passing like we normally do. Have a great day. Enjoy the game, because guess what? The Sooners are winning today, 45-16. Again, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. That way you get notified every time Old Man Nate drops a video or goes live. And if you're in Oklahoma City, come on by. Come on over here to Twin Peaks at 6500 Southwest 3rd Street in Oklahoma City. Enjoy some great food. Like I said, I had chicken fried steak last week. They have burgers. They have tacos. You name it, they got it. They got salads. If you like salads, they got that. So come on out here to Twin Peaks. They got the coldest beer on draft, on tap. Come on out here. Enjoy the Sooners. Hang out with Old Man Nate. I'm going to be here watching the game. Then I'm going to do a post-game show afterwards. You come on out here. I'm in the man cave. So come on down here. Say, hey, where the man cave at? We'll send you my way. Come hang out with Old Man Nate and enjoy the OU Kansas game. All right. We'll be back on here at halftime. Tell you what the Sooners need to do, what they've done great on. Until then, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you for watching Old Man Sports Talk.